Adam disagrees, but I think before I get any further into this, I'm going to kind of share my story and explain really what Vemma is, but I think it's important to realize that none of you guys were brought here so that we could sell you anything. We didn't bring you here because we want to convince you of anything. We simply brought you here because we're excited about something that's changing a lot of lives, and we want to educate you on what it is we do, and then really let you decide. We want to show you what it is that's kind of got us fired up and help you form your own opinion. It's really important that you guys, form your own opinion on this whole thing. So I'm going to share my story and also the story of the company. But I know if I was here for the first time, I'd want to hear it from somebody who is earning, say, a six-figure income, multiple six-figure income. But fortunately, tonight we actually have somebody who came up here to kind of talk to you guys a little bit about his story as well. But my name's Garrett Carr. Like he said, I'm 20 years old, been in this company about 5-6 months now. And I think it's most appropriate to kind of start my story with something that my dad actually used to tell me when I was a little kid. And when I was real young, my dad always used to say, Garrett, when you get older, try to find a way to work for yourself. And coming from my dad, that was really a pretty profound statement, because my dad is someone who's made a living and a successful one at that, working a corporate job. But my dad realized two things. Number one, he realized that he's almost 60 years old, and still to this day, he wakes up at 4 o'clock every morning, drives to work, works 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, and when he's not at work, he's at home on his BlackBerry. He's telecommuting. He never really stops. And he knew that if, I could find a way to work for myself and become successful at that I could have the time freedom that a lot of people don't have. Number two, he realized that times are changing, guys. If you take a look at, just technology alone, 10 years ago or 20 years ago, cell phones weren't even around. It's absolutely phenomenal now that we can run an international business from our phones. I can literally get on a video conference with a kid in Germany and start a network in a matter of minutes. And things like that is stuff that they only dreamt about even just a few short years ago. So it's important to understand where technology is headed, how quickly things are advancing. And I think a lot of you guys would agree that times are changing. And if we don't change with the times, then we're going to get left behind. So, going all through school, like I said, my dad was like, try to find a way to work for yourself. Made sense, but, it never really connected with me. And all through school, they're telling you, you got to get a job. You got to find a really good job. Get a good degree so you can write a good resume. And nobody ever really encouraged you to dream. Nobody ever really said, do what you want because you have one life to live. Regardless of your belief, majority of people would say that we're on this planet one time. There's no dress rehearsals, there's no restart buttons or do-overs. So why on earth would you spend the one life that you have to live doing something that you don't want to do? So I got out of high school, wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, so I got a 40-hour-a-week job working at a rental car agency, washing cars, and then also got enrolled in college full-time, was taking 5 college classes. So needless to say, I had no free time whatsoever. And my dad tossed me this book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. And I'd be sitting at my desk at work, reading through this book, and I kind of got this obsession with success. I got this obsession with wanting to be, that top, or that small percent of the world that earns so much of the income. And I never really had a vehicle. I understood. I was like, this is what I want. I want to be successful, but how on earth am I going to do it? And it's weird that only a few short weeks later, my buddy from high school approaches me with an opportunity. And this kid who approached me, he's like my brother now, but when he was coming to me, all through high school, he was like my drinking buddy. If there was a party, he knew where it was at. He knew who was there, like what girls were there, everything. In school, he was always copying off me on tests. Like he'd show up late and be like, "Yo, can I get your homework?" Still to this day, I don't think he can really spell. So when he was coming to me with a business opportunity, I was like, "Yo, A-Rod, come on, dude. I love you. Like you're my friend, but you're not really someone who, I really would trust for business advice." So he's like, "Dude, I understand you're skeptical. It's normal. Like that's a normal thing to be very skeptical." He's like, "How about this? Will you, if I invited you to get on a video conference tonight, would you talk to my buddy Adam Winnick? He's been in this business about 13 months, and he's making around $300,000 a year at 20 years old." And I was like, holy crap, absolutely. So I got home that night, just got off work. I went in my closet, put on a button-up shirt, set my computer up, and I was all ready for this professional business meeting. And this kid pops up, and a normal kid. Every third word he said was dope. He's like, yeah, it's dope, it's sick. But what Adam really showed me is that how I could convert my dollars, convert the money that I was already spending, pissing away on other things like Red Bull, 5 Hour Monster, Starbucks, and other things that I didn't need to be spending money on, convert it into a business where I could build an asset that's going to pay me a residual income the rest of my life. It made 100% logical sense. Why would you do anything different? So all throughout this call, I just kind of had my arms crossed, kept a real stern face, trying to act all professional. And he's in the garage at his buddy's house, and he's like, yeah, here's his daily driver, and shows me a brand new 6 Series BMW paid for by the company. And then he flips the camera to the other side of the garage and shows me a Rolls-Royce Ghost, which is a $300,000 car. So I was like, yeah, that's cool. All right, it was good talking. I shut the computer, and I was like, oh my God. That kid had a Rolls-Royce, holy crap. And my mind was just blown, to see the tangible results like that these young people were doing something different and getting a different result. It really blew my mind. So I grabbed my keys, drove to the bank in the middle of the night, put money on my card, ordered my product, and started my business. And like Ratmir said, I was able to find 6 of my friends that kind of wanted change, wanted to do something different so that they could get something different. And those 6 people that I found that first week grew to a network of over about 300, 400 people now. Just picked up a company paid Mercedes, rather. So I'm excited, and I don't say that to be like, yo, look at me, guys, I'm doing really well. Because if you knew me personally, you know I'm a really humble guy. I only say that to impress upon you that this thing is working. There's nothing anybody in this room can say to contest the fact that this thing is working. I'm a very normal kid. I go to a community college in Brevard County. I don't know how many of you guys have ever been to Brevard County. If you haven't been, don't go. If you have, I'm sorry, it's not that great. But my only point with that is that if I can have those kind of results coming from a small town, Merritt Island, imagine what you guys could do at one of the biggest universities in Florida. The potential is absolutely insane. And Vemma, Verb, hasn't even been in Florida for a year. We're coming up on a year now. So the opportunity is massive, guys. So what is Vemma? What is Verve? I'll kind of keep it brief, and then I'll let Adam speak a little bit. But essentially, Vemma started about 8 years ago in Scottsdale, Arizona, with this guy, BK Barreco. And he kind of had a history of family members dying from various health reasons, things like diabetes, cancer. So he kind of wanted to leave this legacy to help people live a healthier lifestyle. So he teamed up with these scientists and created a liquid antioxidant. This is actually the original product. Has all your essential antioxidants, vitamins, everything. From a health standpoint, is remarkable. But he realized what was going on in the economy, and he saw that, not many young people can get excited about a 2-ounce antioxidant shot. So he looked at what was going on, what was kind of big in the market, and he saw that the energy drink industry was a $13.5 billion industry, projected to be $27 billion by 2017. Absolutely blowing up. But if you look at it, it's dominated by companies like Red Bull, Monster, 5 Hour. None of those products are really good for you. So what he did is he took that same 2-ounce liquid antioxidant, added natural caffeine, created the healthiest energy drink on the market. So at that point, there's really 2 options. You take the traditional approach, like Red Bull, Monster, for advertising, or you do something different. So along with that legacy of wanting to leave people to a healthier lifestyle, he also wanted to leave people to a better lifestyle. So what he did is he developed this business model where they pay half of everything they make out to people like ourselves for doing something as simple as consuming and sharing the product. So when I started, I ordered 7 cases of product, pretty simple. And in turn, I got a free business. I got, a website, an app, and all these different things where I was essentially running an international business where I could make as much money as I want by doing something as simple as ordering the product. So that's really, in simple terms, how the business kind of works. Last year, like I said, did 120 million dollars. Projected to be $1 billion company in the next 3 years. So if you look at the most successful people in the world, you say, wow, they were just in the right place at the right time with the right people. Well, guys, it's important to understand that the way this company's headed, you're in the right place at the right time with the right people. But none of that matters unless you're aware of it. So it's important to understand that you guys are here. You know, you're here in the right place at the right time with the right people. So I encourage you guys to keep an open mind and really listen to what we have to say. So that's pretty much my story. That's kind of where we're coming from with this thing. But I'm going to bring up, you know, someone who's really been my personal mentor through this whole thing. The kid who originally told me about the business, ultimately changed my life. You know, I've been fortunate enough to kind of be able to work with this kid. So Adam, you know, he's been in the business about 20 months now. By the numbers, he's star ambassador. So if you look that up, you know, it's right around $500,000 a year. He's pushing Royal Ambassador. Yeah.